Peace. What's the word? What's happening, everybody? Hopefully, everybody's having a powerful, peaceful, productive, efficient, healthy Monday. Hopefully, y'all got about 45 minutes or so to tap in, chop it up, listen to the build. Let me know how y'all living and feeling. I'm going to give y'all about 3 to 5 minutes to tap in before we dive into the subject matter, this little rant that we about to go on. So, hey, tap in with me. Let me know how we living and feeling on this wonderful Monday before we tap in and go into the subject matter. So what's the word? How this Monday treating everybody? Y'all see this subject matter today. Hey, we going to speak some harsh truths, some reality. But hey, y'all got thick skin, man, so y'all able to handle it. But what's the word, man? Y'all let me know how y'all living and feeling before I start diving into this subject matter and doing my building. Patrick, peace. What's happening? What's the word? How we living? How we feeling? Y'all see what it is. We gonna go in, man. I need all my brothers. I need all my sisters to tap in to this particular stream, man, because it's gonna get a little real. Hey, K Joe, peace. What's happening? What's the word? How we living? How we feeling? How y'all holding up on this Monday, man? How y'all starting this week off, man? You always want to start the week off on a positive, powerful, productive, efficient note, So hopefully that's what y'all doing. Hopefully y'all starting the week off on a very good note, man. But let me know, man. Let me know what's the word. I'm going to give y'all 3-5 minutes before I dive in, man, before I start going off on them. Beast by Bless on out. Peace. What's happening? What's the word? What's the word, my good brother? What is the word? How y'all living? How y'all feeling, man? We talking to the brothers on this one, but again, every time I'm talking to the brothers, hey, sisters, y'all can definitely take away some jewels from it. It will help y'all understand us better, Feline, peace. What's happening? What's the word? What's the word? We dealing with some of you soft brothers out here, If you are not one of these soft brothers, then it does not apply to you. But if you are, then I'm definitely talking to you. Ray, peace, what's happening? What's the word? You already know. B-Law, peace, what's happening? Moni, peace, what's happening? What's happening? Hey, work for all of us been crazy, man. Been out here putting in work. We striving to manifest. We striving to build better future. So I already know. Chaos, peace, what's happening? What's the word? What's the word? Hey, give y'all about another minute or so, man, to tap in with me, man. How y'all living, man? It's Monday. Hopefully it's treating y'all good, man, because we about to go in. We about to go in for sure. Ray, you already picking up on the energy, picking up on the vibe. I got 45 minutes. I'm going to use that 45 minutes efficiently, So we gonna go in. We talking about men wanting to be pacified out here, man. That's some nonsense. That's some garbage, man. We got to some aspects, we got to get back to our traditional roots and our traditional upbringing out here, man. Some of y'all that forgot how the game go. Some of y'all getting too caught up in this modern role reversal nonsense, and y'all want to get treated like women. We ain't going for that. We ain't going for that. We gonna put an end to that. We gonna put an end to that. Some of y'all, I said it, some of y'all want to get treated like women out here, and we ain't going for that. We ain't going for that. We gonna go back to the old school roots. We gonna go back to the old school roots for sure. Lindell, Terenzo, Dion, peace. What's happening? We gonna go back to our roots out here, man. Hey, what they say, Sankofa. Sometimes you gotta tap into that past in order to move forward. Straight up. Straight up. Like, yeah, it's some things that they did back in the day that, of course, we got to evolve and transcend above and beyond. But it's also some things that were done back in the day that's right and exact that we need to bring back, So, yeah, it's some things it's some principles and values that we had back in the day that we need to bring back right now. And I'm talking about for us men. It was codes that we was living by back in the day that we not living by, man. We have deviated from these codes collectively, and we need to get back on code, and we need to start G-checking these other brothers that's not operating by the code. Just like when you wasn't operating by a street code, the streets let you know, and the streets dealt with you. So we got to start dealing with these brothers that's deviating from the code, but we got to bring the codes back. That's what we got to do. We got to bring the codes back. We don't have a code anymore, man. So that's why everybody out here looking and sounding weird, because we have deviated from codes, values, and principles. We need to bring these things back to the surface. You know, we got to bring them back. We got to bring them back for sure. Hey, Patrick, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. That's part of the code. Taking care of your business, fam. That's part of the code. But yeah, we deviating. We have deviated from the code collectively. You know, we didn't let society whitewash us. We didn't let society turn us against these women. And what has happened, society turned us against our women and then started turning a lot of men into women. You know what I'm saying? Like that was all part of the agenda, part of the plan, and they have executed it thoroughly. But we got to come back. We got to reinstill these principles and these values, man. Stay on code. Stay on code. Stay on code. That's what you got to start telling these brothers. When you see a brother operating out of, stay on code. You know, stay on code. You want to be treated like a woman. You want to be talked to. You want to be pacified like a straight woman. That was never how I was raised. You know what I'm saying? It was just a code, fam. I was raised. I got an older brother. I got an older sister. So it was two boys and it was a girl. And it was a certain way that the girl was treated when she was harmed or when she was hurt, opposed to the way that we were treated when we were hurt and harmed. It's a difference. So we got to stop acting like it ain't a difference, fam. It's a difference. When my sister got hurt and injured, it was a certain way that everybody approached that. It was a certain way that everybody approached it. You know what I'm saying? It was way more nurturing going on. You know what I'm saying? People were way more emotionally tapped in. When a young boy got hurt, it was a whole different energy. Man, you better not cry. You better get up. You better walk it off. That was the code we was raised by. You better not sit down there and cry, man. You better get up, better walk that off. That's how we was raised. It was a difference. Now, these brothers want to get treated just like the little girl got treated when she was hurt or when she's injured. Man, that's going to make you soft. That's going to weaken you, fam. That's going to weaken you. That's why you got a bunch. That's why nowadays when they start talking about these modern dudes, that's why you have a lot of dudes that's comfortable laying up under these women. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have that type of situation going on. And again, this is by design. Man, I don't want nobody pacifying me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody, oh, you got a boo-boo and all that type of stuff when I fall down, scrape my knee. No, I need somebody to tell me, man, get up. Man, that was nothing. Walk that off. That's how I was raised. I don't need nobody walking around. I didn't scrape my knee. It ain't that bad, but they sitting down 10 minutes acting like it's the worst scrape on the world. Nah, we ain't got time for that. Get up, walk that off. Walk that off. Straight up. That ain't how these little homies are being raised these days, because now it's a problem to raise somebody like that. Now they want you to give them the same treatment that your little sister would get when she scraped her knee. Different energy, different vibe. Again, like I said, when my sister got injured, when my sister got hurt, that's how you were supposed to. All right, man. Just, hey, my sister hurt. Everybody circle around her. You know, let's take her. Let's nurture her. Let's tap in emotionally with her. Make sure she's okay. That's how you approach. You delicate with her. I get the same type of injury. All right, man, get up. Walk that off. That wasn't nothing. That's light. You scrape your knee, get on up. Like, let's get it. You know, that's how I was raised. Miss Naya, peace, what's happening? What's the word? MC, peace, what's happening? That's how I was raised, and that's how a lot of brothers in my age bracket and beyond were raised. You know, and again, we was being raised basically to be warriors out here. You know what I'm saying? Montel, what's happening? Because we already knew how society would come at us and treat us. You know, so that you was being raised to be a warrior, man. We ain't all of that pacifying, all of that good stuff. As a man, just tell me the truth. You know what I'm saying? Tell me the truth. Tell me to get up. Tell me to go about my business, man. That's it. That's all we really need to be hearing out here. You know, that's all we really need to hear. Straight up. Tell us the truth. I don't care. I've never been one to care about listen, as a man, I can vouch for myself. All of that, I love you and you're beautiful, you're handsome, all that type. Man, I don't really care about that type of stuff. Man, tell me something useful. Tell me something productive. Man, I don't need for you to water me with all of these compliments. Again, that's some stuff that you do to women, fam. Like, that's how I was. Like, we water the woman down with all this compliments. Not saying that you can't do that for your man. That's cool, but that really doesn't do anything for somebody such as myself. And I know it's a lot of brothers that possess the mindset or the mentality that I have. Hitting us with all these compliments or whatever really doesn't do anything at the end of the day. We don't care about that. You know, we out here building. We trying to see what type of value you can add to what it is that we building. So hitting me with all these compliments, man, I don't really care about any of that. I don't want to hear that. Sounds nice, cool, but we don't keep it pushing. You know, build on something more with more substance than that. You know, you don't have to shower me with no compliments. Again, that's the man's job to the woman, but you don't have to do that to me. And it's a lot of brothers, because I chop it up with a lot of brothers, feel the same way. That's doing absolutely nothing for us. You know, absolutely nothing. You know, straight up. I'm trying to give some of y'all sisters a little bit of game, you know, because there's plenty of brothers that possess the mindset that I have. You know, plenty of brothers. Plenty of brothers. Hey, Devin, peace. What's happening? Montel for sure. 100%. 100%. You know, but nowadays you be having these brothers probably want to be getting these showered with all of these compliments. You got these brothers that want you to tell them they love you every 4 or 5 seconds. You know, every 4 or 5 seconds. That's what they own out here. And you know, you got the wife in here trolling, y'all say peace to the wife. See, my compliments come in the form of my actions. They come in the form of my actions. Like, that's what we do. That's what people who operate with the same type of mentality that I possess, which again, I realize I'm not alone with the type of mentality that I possess. Our compliments come in the form of our actions. Just like when I talk about leadership, my leadership comes in the form of my actions. Because again, I'm passing it forward how I was raised. As they always told me back in the day, they say, teach it how you was taught. My pops wasn't that type of dude to be showering folks with compliments. And she can vouch for that because she'd have been around my pops. And I'm just as awkward as my pops when it comes to stuff like that, and my brother. So everything that I distribute comes in the form of action. I've even watched that from my grandfather, you know, and a lot of the men in my family got a bad rap for having a certain type of attitude. And now as I grow older, I realize the attitude that they actually possessed, and I realized what all they were actually out here doing. But back in the day, they got a bad rap for being mean, grumpy, all that type of good stuff. Now I understand. Now I see where they were coming from at the time when we were painting them in this negative light. Now I get it. Now I understand. Now I get it. Now I understand. You know, as I've always said, man, I'm thankful to have been raised up under the umbrella of tough love. I'm thankful for it. I wouldn't want to be raised any other type of way. Now you got this thing out here called gentle parenting. I know y'all have heard of that. I got a couple clients that have mentioned it, you know, and use some of the practices. And I'm like, when they broke it down to me, I'm like, man, what? I say, ain't no way. That type of philosophy wouldn't have lasted back in the day, which is why it is something that they are practicing now. Because back in the day, my parents, and I'm pretty sure some of y'all parents wasn't about to be going for something called gentle parenting. What? I don't know if you all are familiar with that concept. I'm pretty sure y'all are, but man, that's a very interesting way of dealing with kids. And I wasn't dealt with in no way, shape, or form close to that. That gentle parenting is crazy. I'm pretty sure that you have portions of it that can be effective. It's pros and cons to everything, but that is not anywhere near close to how I was raised. I can tell you that just from the little that that has been explained to me in regards to that approach. And a lot of times what I have realized and witnessed when folks implement this practice of gentle parenting is that, man, it leads to the child basically running everything. It wasn't that wasn't going down back in the day at the crib. Nah, like all of that was getting put to bed. Like, nope. That gentle parenting being gentle, like, nah. We was getting put in our place. We was getting put in our place. Like, straight up. Straight up. As I've said plenty of times, my own pops always used to say, that's why it's embedded in my mind, that he will not let a child run his household. Like, when we get up out of his household, we can do whatever it is that we want to do. But while we are in his household, we are not running it, and that's, again, it led to some clashing. But hey, I get it. I get it now. I understand it fully. I understand it fully. I get it, and that's something that I feel like we all should be applying. We got to stop letting these young folks, man, just run everything and being afraid to tell them some things, man, being afraid to deal with it. But now they making it hard. Like, you mess around and get locked up out here if you whoop your child, all this type of good stuff. Hey, Ray, and that's 100% right and exact. The world is not gentle at all, especially for us, so why even raise us like that when the world, like, you gonna get dealt a very harsh hand, fam, when you trying to gently raise a black child. That doesn't even make any sense to say I'm doing the gentle parenting with a black child, and then they get out here in society. That's why these kids can't handle nothing, fam. That's why as soon as they get hit with some rejection or somebody yell at them, then they crying. You know what I'm saying? Because people trying to practice all this gentle, man, the world ain't gonna treat them like that. The world ain't, as soon as they don't get their way, they crying. And it's partially because of that type of nonsense, man. You better introduce your child to some of this rejection and some of these harsh realities that the world gonna present them with, regardless to if you introduce them to them or not. The world gonna introduce that harshness to them. So you might as well get it out the way. You might as well get it out the way, because the world gonna hand it to them anyway. So what's the point? Like, I never really understood that. When it comes to raising black children, trying to shield them from life, you can't do that, fam. You can't shield a black child from life. You cannot do it. I don't care. Like, you just cannot do that, fam. Can't do it. So I don't even understand why attempt to do that. That's a recipe for disaster. We trying to shield this black child from life, from the harshness of life. We trying to prevent them from seeing X, Y, and Z. Man, they gonna come across it. They gonna experience it anyway. You think by spending all this money for them to go to school with all these white folks that they not gonna experience anything? Man, that might be worse than sending them off to the local public school in your area. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, man. For real. So you show right, or your parents will show right with that, man. The world is not gentle, and especially when it comes to raising these black boys, man. You can't be gentle with a black boy, man. You can't be. You gotta give him that tough love, man. You gotta toughen him up to prepare him for the way the world will treat him. So you gotta give him that tough love, man. You gotta treat him like that, for real. That don't mean punch him in the chest every second. You just gotta be real with him. You gotta be real with him. You gotta tell them the truth. That's why I put it in the title, man. You gotta be real with the young boy, just like you got to be real with the man, man. You gotta be real. Tell them the actual facts, man. Give them the truth. Tell them exactly what they're going to experience. Tell them exactly what they should expect. Be real with them up front. Do not lie to them. Do not lie to them. And that sometimes we have a good habit of lying to them. LG, Lean On Me was one of my favorite movies growing up. And yeah, Joe Clark for sure. For real. You know what I'm saying? Gotta bring that vibe back. I'm trying to tell you, that's the type of stuff I was raised on. Lean On Me, like that's real. That's the type of mentality that we need, fam. Like that stuff only pushes us and makes us better. Like we might not like it at the time where we are getting presented with the tough love, but it's really making us better. It's making us stronger. We may not realize it at the time, but as we grow older, we gonna realize, okay, when they was getting on me back then, that prepared me for this moment right now that I'm dealing with. That prepared me for this obstacle that I'm dealing with right now. That prepared me for this hard time that I'm dealing with right now. The way that they was pushing me when I was 10, now I'm 35, I'm facing this crisis right now. That time prepared me for this moment right here, 25 years later. So now when I'm able to power through these obstacles and people look at me like, man, how you able to do that? Has something to do with the way they was raising me. Has something to do with that upbringing. Straight up. Like for real, man, you don't really be realizing how this stuff is impacting you when you a kid. But man, when you grow older and you start to examine your character and you start to examine ways that you approach problems and obstacles and things like that, you start to really see. You start to see how things were impacting you from back in the day. A lot of times we just like to zero in on the trauma from our childhood, from our past. But we don't like to give our past credit for building that character, building that strength. So it goes both ways. Yeah, it might have been some things from your past that traumatized you for sure. But I promise you it's some things in your past that made you a stronger and better person. Don't forget to acknowledge and highlight those things as well. And a lot of times we tend to neglect those realities. And we want to overly focus on the trauma, the things that traumatize us. Like, nah, focus on what happened to you, how that made you stronger and better, man. Don't just zero in on how it traumatized you. Yeah, it was traumatizing, but guess what? It made you stronger. It gave you an example of what not to do, what not to be, all of that. So again, it's always two parts to everything. So if you can look at a situation, or if you look at a situation and think it's 100% traumatizing, that's not right and exact. That's not right and exact at all. It's always something you could take away from it, man, that you could say made you stronger or can make you stronger. So for real, that's how you got to look at it. That's how you got to look at it. Like I said, there's nobody on this planet that's going to go through life and don't experience any traumatizing event in their life. Nobody on this planet, I don't care how sheltered a person is. No way you walking through life and don't have a traumatizing experience. And the thing of it is like the trauma is relative to the person. What might cause trauma to you might not cause trauma to me. You know what I'm saying? And people got to realize this, man. So you might be judging another person and be looking at their set of circumstances and think they don't have anything to really be complaining about, man, but you don't really know their life. You don't know their life. They dealing with a whole different reality than you are, so they set of problems is different from your set of problems. But just because it's different don't mean they don't have a right to have a whole set of problems. So we don't be understanding these things, man. But everybody is going to be presented with a set of problems. And it's how you deal with that set of problems. It's how you deal with them. It's how you deal with them. What they say, man, it's how you get back up from that fall. That's what matters the most. Oh, yeah, that village for sure. That village. And then, hey, and I'm gonna keep it real though. Even outside the village, man, even if you don't have the village, don't even lean on it. All right, cool. It's cool if we got the village, but if I don't got the village, then I need to learn I'm gonna have to learn some things on my own. So if the village is not there for me to learn from, then guess what? I'm going to tap into myself and I'm going to become that village for myself. You know, so either way, I'm about to move how I need to move, straight up. You know, because it's been plenty of times, even in my personal life, where, hey, the village that I thought I had wasn't necessarily there for me, how I needed them to be. So I had to become that village for myself. You know, I had to surround myself with material. You know what I'm saying? I had to surround myself with content, you know, that reflected what I needed at the time. So I wasn't getting it from the actual physical village that I had in the form of family and friends, because they wasn't understanding the journey. So I had, at that moment, or at that time, social media was, you know, in its infancy a little bit. So I ain't know nothing about finding these communities online. So I had to go tap in. You know, I had to go tap in. I had to go find some books, man, that's reflected my mindset and my mentality at the time. So I had to create that village for myself via books, documentaries, and just things like that, man. And then lo and behold, I ended up walking right into a culture that I fit right into. You know, again, law of attraction. But I wasn't about to wait for no village. I say, all right, man, I'm about to find some material that's reflecting this energy. I'm gonna go find it. And I find it and I immerse myself within this material. Then what I need, it's gonna come to me. And that's what happened. Hey, Terenzo, for sure. Hey, King, peace, what's happening? Jeremiah, peace, what's happening? Yeah, Terenzo, hey, I probably did what you would consider testing all my peoples, man. I tested everybody. You know, I tested everybody, and a lot of times it wasn't me just going out of my way to be that way. It was, again, in response to some things, you know. So I always responded to some things, and a lot of my responses, or the way I would respond wasn't necessarily I would say the best approach as a child, you know. So it didn't go over too well with the elders, fam. So, you know, I had to deal with the repercussions and consequences of a lot of my responses as a child. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. I looked at it this way, you know. That made me fearless. You know, that contributed to me being outspoken. I figured, you know, because I ain't gonna even lie, the first two people that instilled any type of fear in me was my parents, fam. You know, it's the first two people that you fear in life, almost, you know, like them be the first two, you know. So when I was able to kind of, I ain't gonna say stand up to them, but when I wasn't afraid to speak my mind to them, then I'm like, man, I ain't afraid to talk to nobody. You know, when I was able to say, you know what, I ain't afraid to speak my mind to my own two parents, and them like the first two people that I feared in life, then I'm like, man, I ain't afraid to speak my piece to nobody, to anybody. You know, so that made me fearless. You know, that made me fearless, and it contributed to me speaking my mind a lot. You know, so that was kind of cool, Bobby. What's happening? Akuma, peace. What's happening? Airview, peace. What's the word? Shout out to everybody tapping in. You know, and as a man, that's a good quality to have, to be able to tell the truth, no matter who you talking to. You know, you can't have a fear of speaking the truth, especially when it needs to be spoken. You know, and that's something that I feel like us brothers, we have to work on. Speaking the truth when it needs to be spoken, not caring about hurting somebody's feelings. Speak that truth. Speak it. Somebody asks you that question, bro. Give them that honest answer. Give them that truth. Give them that truth, fam. Give them the truth. How you see fit. You got to do it. Now, of course, like y'all know my story. You know, speaking the truth at times, it got me in some trouble. You know, so it is what it is. Speaking my mind, speaking the truth, and got me in plenty of trouble. Plenty of trouble. But hey, one thing I have never done is deviated from what I stand on and stand for. But I'm going to always speak my mind regardless. So I get on these platforms. I speak my truth. Then when I'm off these platforms, I'm speaking the same truth. And whoever likes it, likes it. Whoever doesn't, does it. But I'm not going out of my way to impress anybody. I'm not about to water down my message. I'm not about to sugarcoat anything for anybody. I'm going to give it to you just how I feel like it needs to be given to you. And that may not necessarily be the way you want to receive it or want to get it. But it is what it is. King Rick, for sure. You already know. Hit me up. Hit me up. Craig, yeah, hey, and that's the world we live in. You know, we live in that type of society, striving to go viral, you know. So in order for me, people ain't necessarily got to like me to go viral, but that's what it is, man. I'm trying to get all these followers. I'm trying to get these likes, I'm trying to get these subscribers. In order for people to subscribe to me, they got to sort of like me. Now, sometimes folks like you or not like what you post, and they subscribe to you, and they may not be fond of you on the surface, but we already know deep down they have an admiration for you. You know, but that's the society that we live in, man. We trying to generate this attention. We trying to get people to like us. And when folks don't like us, we start feeling depressed. We start feeling sad and all this type of good stuff. So now telling the truth is a lost art. Speaking the truth is a lost art. It's frowned upon. It ain't about speaking the truth anymore. It's about telling the people what they want to hear type deal. That's what it then boiled down to. Speaking the truth is not that popular these days. It's not that popular. It's not that popular. I know plenty of people that be on platforms or be involved in certain industries that might think one way, but the presentation to their fans and followers is the total opposite of what they portray behind the scenes. And you can't be living like that, man. Can't be living like that, man. Again, that's off the code, man. That's the code that I was talking about when I said stick to the code. That's off the code, fam. Because you got to understand, you never know who's watching. You never know who's paying attention to you. And a lot of times, especially when you in the spotlight, you got a lot of young people that's looking up to you. You know, you got a lot of young folks that's paying attention to what you're doing. You know, so you gotta be mindful of that, man. You gotta be mindful of that when you were influencing the youth, when you influencing the younger generation. You gotta be mindful of that, man. You gotta be very mindful of that, so they see you, they see what you saying. You know what I'm saying? When you on these platforms, when you on the camera, when the camera is on, they pay attention to what you saying. Then when they see you when the camera's off and you acting the total opposite, man, they gonna call you out on that. They gonna call you out on that. They gonna be like, man, this ain't what you were saying on this. They gonna call you out. So you gotta be mindful about that, man. You gotta be mindful. You know, we gotta give better examples out here, man, of our words lining up with our actions. Because right now, I don't think we do the best job of that. You know, a lot of us, we say one thing, and y'all seen all of these influencers or all these people that be on these platforms getting caught up in all with all these types of charges. Again, they getting on here misleading people. They just talking about what they feel is hot, what to generate them some attention. Oh wow, they don't care nothing about what they actually telling you. They ain't practicing any of that. They just know that will get your attention. That will reel you in. You know, so they selling you some nonsense, selling you some BS, and they scam you. They getting a bunch of money up out of you. They getting a lot of time up out of you. Oh, wow, they doing a bunch of wickedness behind closed doors. A bunch of wickedness, fam. So we got to stop being those individuals. Got to stop being them. And y'all know who I'm talking about. There's been plenty of them. Been plenty of them. You know, if you're going to be out here spitting this knowledge, man, if you're going to be out here striving to enlighten your people, make sure you are living according to that enlightenment yourself. Please make sure you're doing that. As a man, I don't know why you want to be living any other type of way. You know, if you dropping this knowledge, man, if you enlightening these folks, Why would you not want to apply what you telling these folks to your own life to better your life? Why would you want to feel like you are a lost cause because of an age or whatever the case may be? Like, no, you can always apply a lesson to your life. You can always improve. You can always evolve. You can always grow. You can always elevate. So again, if I'm dropping game to the young bulls, man, sometimes you might impress yourself. I know I ain't the only one that's been in a situation where I was giving somebody some advice and it sounded so good I had to write it down for myself to apply. I know I ain't the only one that's been in a boat like that, man. You drop a game to somebody, man, and you just said something so impressive that you need to apply that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I done been there, done that several times. Man, I'm giving somebody some game. I'm like, man, hold on. What I just tell this dude? Let me make sure I remember this and write this down so I can apply this to my life. It kind of just came out. It kind of flowed. I was freestyling, and I messed around and said something that I need to adhere to. Let me jot that down. Let me jot it down. I know I ain't the only one that never did something like that. You out here giving somebody and ask you a question, you giving them game, you dropping some advice, and you like, man, I told them something nice. I need to listen to that. Like, that'd be crazy. And it goes to show you that the truth was within you the whole time. You gave somebody some advice when really that whole time you was talking to yourself. That's the crazy part about it. That person asked you something that you might be currently wrestling with, and you gave them straight great advice. What you really did was you gave yourself some advice that you need to apply. That's the reason why that conversation happened in the first place. So, hey, again, pay attention. Next time somebody comes to you with a problem and they ask for your advice, really analyze that. Really analyze that. For real, because I realized that in my own life. I'm like, man, these people coming to me with all these different types of problems, and I'm giving them this game, but I'm like, man, I'm talking to myself. Because I'm going to be real with you. 9 times out of 10, the person that you talking to, they not about to apply what it is that what you telling them. They not about to apply the advice. So 9 times out of 10, when somebody comes to you for some type of advice, they not about to implement what you saying. So that's why I said a lot of times you're really talking to yourself. Like, straight up. How many times have somebody actually applied what you told them after they came to you for some advice? I bet you that percentage is low. How many times did you see that person after you gave them some advice and asked them, hey, did you do what I had told you? And they be like, nah, I ain't got on that yet. A month later, 2 months later, asking the same question, and they like, yeah, I still ain't got to it yet. Man, it's a very rare chance that somebody gonna actually apply the advice you have given. So a lot of those times, you are literally talking to yourself. So apply that, man. When you giving somebody that game, you really giving yourself that game. So don't lose that. Don't lose the jewels in that conversation. Don't miss the jewels, because those jewels was meant for you, not the person actually asking for the advice, because they're not going to apply it. It's going to take 5 to 7 other people for them to actually apply it. Like, straight up. That's how that be going. So they come to you for that advice, not with intentions of actually applying the advice. Again, they want you to tell them some things that they want to hear. So when you start telling them that actual truth in regards to what they need to hear, like, they ain't want to hear that. So again, that's for you. That's for you. That's for you to apply to your life. Oh, Devin, man, hey, 1,000%. Hey, I say teach or preach what you practice. So I'm putting that action first. So I'm going to move a certain type of way, then I'm going to teach that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I be telling folks. Hey, teach and preach what you practice. That'll hold you more accountable. So you got to teach and preach what you doing instead of vice versa. So I got to teach you what I'm doing, fam, whether it's good or bad or indifferent. I got to teach you based off of my ways and actions up to this point. So I'm teaching and preaching what it is that I'm actually practicing. And then when I teach and preach to you what I'm practicing, then I got to give you the harsh reality. If I'm not practicing something that's actually good, then I got to tell you that. And then I got to break down why you should not travel down this path, how I got caught up traveling down this path, and then what I'm doing, what I'm going to do moving forward to get away from this path. Magic Peace, what's happening? Like, that's how I got to go about it. I gotta give you the game, fam. I gotta give you the game. Whether it's good or bad, positive, negative, whatever the case may be. Devin, for sure. You know, and sometimes you will hear people say it ain't about the messenger, it's the message. But man, again, we gotta deal in reality. We gotta deal with people. You know, that sounds good. Some of us can apply that and say, all right, it ain't really about the messenger, it's the message. Most people can't do that, though. Most people can't do that. You know, again, unfortunately, misery loves company. And then a lot of people are looking to point a finger. You know, so I'm going to use your example as a trainer. If I'm training folks and I'm trying to tell them how to eat or to eat clean, and I'm not, then that's going to give them more of the reason to not do it. They about to point the finger at what I'm doing. So they not about to look at the message. They going to look at the messenger and the message. They going to say, well, you telling me to eat clean and you not, and you still look like you in decent shape. That right there, that's going to give them the green light to do whatever they want to do. But when they see me eating right, working out, taking care of my body, taking care of my mind, they can't say anything. You know what I'm saying? And they feel guilty when they come to me and was like, and I'll be like, man, what you eat? They don't even be wanting to tell me. They don't even be wanting to post the stuff online when they done did dirty, because they know I teach what I practice. So they immediately feel guilty. They got to hold themselves accountable instead of them saying, well, man, you don't be eating the best. You don't be eating the best. You know what I'm saying? So they can't say that to me. They can't say that to me. So when I ask them how they eating, and when I tell them that they got to be more disciplined, when I tell them, man, that you just got to do what you got to do, it ain't necessarily easy, but it is what it is. When I'm telling them things like that, they got to listen. They got to listen because they see me doing it. They see me in the gym with no garbage snacks in there. They be like, man, do you even be snacking? And I show them, you know what I'm saying, the healthy snacks that I have, or the sunflower butter, depending on what my goals are. Like, they see the discipline that I have right in their face when I'm at the gym. You know what I'm saying? Like, they see that. They see it. They see it. So they have to listen to what I'm telling them, because they know I'm living like that. They know I'm not just telling them one thing and I'm not living that way. Like, they know it. So they got to listen to me. Now, again, listening doesn't necessarily equate to application. It doesn't mean that they are applying it, but they are listening. And sooner or later, they're going to make some changes, because it always happens. Sooner or later, they're going to start talking to me about their fasting. Sooner or later, they're going to start saying, I'm about to try to go vegan for a little minute. Sooner or later, it happens. It's happened with all of them. The ones that stay around long enough, the ones that stick around me long enough, sooner or later, they it's going to resonate. And they're going to make an attempted change based off of the things that I have been telling them. Lights out. Nah, not like that. Man, it's a rare occasion where I would eat peanuts for real. Yeah, that's not something that is in my everyday regimen. You know, it'd be a rare situation. Like, I have to be somewhere where I don't have a lot of options and they got peanuts as an option, and I'm just gonna take the peanuts just to get by, because I ain't really trying to fast. You know what I'm saying? So it'd have to be a situation like that. But I ain't going out of my way to go purchase some peanuts and consume them. I don't even do the peanut butter. Like I said, I do the sunflower butter, you know? And again, people see that type of discipline, man. They see me able to control the appetite. So when I start talking to them about fasting, they see it live in the flesh. They see me being in this gym for 5-6 hours at a time, not eating anything, just drinking my water, all that type of good stuff. So they see the discipline, man. They see the discipline that I have. So when I tell them that you can control that appetite, then they see me doing it. So again, I am the example. I'm the example. I'm not just going to tell you something. I am the example of what I am telling you. So all you got to do is pay attention and watch what I do. You know, straight up. And that's how we should all be living. That's how we should all be living, especially as men. Somebody should be able to watch you as a man, and they should be inspired by your action. They should be inspired to evolve and grow and elevate based on what they see you do on a day-to-day basis. Whether it be a woman, whether it be a child, whatever, whether it be another man, somebody should be able to watch you and be inspired to do better with their life when they watch you as a man. Because you should be out here handling your business, not doing all that whining and crying, taking care of what needs to be taken care of, taking care of your body and your mind. Like, you should be doing all of this type of stuff. And the people that's paying attention, the right ones, ain't even gonna say fall behind, but they will follow suit though. They will follow suit though. The right ones. Again, like I said, the right ones. So when you doing what you need to do as a man, the right folks will pay attention and they will tap in. But you got to make sure you are tapped in enough to where that doesn't go unnoticed. So again, the people that's paying attention to you and the people that are inspired by your actions and they are making changes based on what you have done, make sure that doesn't go unnoticed. Don't overlook these people and focus on the ones that's hating on you. Focus on the ones that don't like you. That's what we tend to do. We overlook the ones that are inspired by us and we focus on the ones that's hating on us. Stop doing that. Stop giving all your time and energy to the folks that's hating on you, because that's what they want. Give your time and energy to the folks that are inspired by your actions. Give your time and energy to them folks. Let them folks that's hating go somewhere else with that. Let them self-destruct, because at the end of the day, that's what they're going to end up doing with all that hate. So let them go ahead and self-destruct, get rid of themselves. Don't focus on them, because you feed them. You feed them. And them joints, they got a large appetite, you know, so you keep feeding them, they keep coming back for more. So don't feed these folks that's hating on you. As a man, I don't care about my haters. Like, that's not anything that I'm glorifying. You're not gonna hear me bragging and boasting about having all these haters. Unfortunately, like Shawty Low, like, big ups to all my hate. Like, nah, I ain't bigging up all my haters. Before I big up all the folks that have paid attention to me, tapped in, and supported me, I'm gonna give a big ups to all of them before I give a big ups to any of my haters. Any of the folks that's hating on me, you know what I'm saying? Any of them folks, we not gonna give them any type of attention. But the folks that have been supporting me, man, y'all will get all the love, all the energy, all the attention, because that's who deserves it, man. But again, we in a culture where we got to shout out these haters. That's a badge of honor. I got all these haters. Now I'm good. I'm good on having them haters. I'm good on acknowledging them. I'm good on giving them that energy. I'm good on feeding that appetite. I'm good on it. You know, so again, shout out to all the people that's supporting, you know, tapping in, constantly showing love. When I see y'all, it's gonna always be peace. It's gonna always be peace, man. You know, and anybody that don't like the grind, don't like what I'm on, feel sorry for you, you know. But that's the most energy I would supply to that, or to those people. You know, so hey, again, always tap in with the people that's showing you love, man, that's supporting you, that are inspired by you, that talk highly of you, you know, because when you zero in on these people, when you focus on these people, you attract more of them. You attract more supporters when you focus on your supporters. What you focus on, it grows. Just like when you focus on your haters, it seems like they multiply. Same principle, same law applies to your supporters. When you focus on your supporters, the supporters multiply. So I like having supporters more than I like having haters. That's how I feel. I like having that support more than I like having folks that hate me, so to speak. When really them folks actually hate themselves. But that's another story. But I like having them folks that support me way more than I like anybody that don't like what I'm doing. Really makes zero sense when you really think about it. And they tell you, they got us. they got us quoting these crazy catchphrases like, if you don't have any haters, then you're not doing something right. Or if you got, if you got these people hating on you, then you doing something right. Man, come on, fam. Nah, if you got people supporting you, then you are doing something right. Then you are doing something right. Like, let's be real, man. When you got people that supporting you, that's actually the indicator that you are doing something right. You got people, you put out a product and people paid for it. That means you're doing something right. If you put out a product and folks not paying for it, but they hating on it, that don't mean you did something right, fam. You know what I'm saying? When you got a service and people are lining up to pay you for the service, that is an indicator that you have done something right. So again, we twisted out here, fam. The indicator for success is people paying you for what it is and people supporting what it is that you are doing. When you go into business for yourself, the measure of success is how much money did the business generate. It's all about revenue. If the business is not generating revenue, it is not a successful business. So again, the more people that support my business financially, the better off I am. If I have a bunch of people that are not supporting my business financially, but they are hating on me, then my business is not succeeding. So again, we have got to change the narrative, man, flip the script, change the perception here. If you have supporters, that means you are doing something right. If you have people that are willing to pay you for your services, product, or time, you are doing something right, fam. Walking around, a bunch of people hating on you. Oh, you doing something right. Leave them people be, fam. We give them people way too much credit. We give folks that troll way too much credit. Like, that stuff is actually pretty corny, if you ask me, man, to get up on a platform and just start trolling. Like, that's not, it's troll. I've never really came across a troll like online and stuff that was just actually funny. Like, the stuff just comes off as corny to me. But that's just me, though. What do I know? Just corny, especially when somebody doing something that's like positive and somebody comes out of nowhere just trolling. Like, man, come on, man, sit down somewhere. Lights out. In the grand scheme of things, yes, I do. But I break that down, though, as to why I say that. It's the way, especially the peanut butter, but it's a certain form that you have to get for it to be semi-better for you or semi-healthier for you. Tony, exactly. It's about the profit. The business is not generating profit. It's not considered a successful business. In order for the business to generate profit, you need people to support the business, not hate on the business and not support it. Hating can actually kill your business. I ain't even gonna say hating. Negativity can actually kill your profit. If you get on there and somebody looks up your business and they see a negative review, that can cause them to not want to show up and support your establishment. So again, having these haters can actually be detrimental to what you're trying to do. If they start leaving negative reviews out here, man, then a person that's blind to what's going on, oblivious to what's going on, they gonna read these negative reviews and think this is how you really conduct business. You know what I'm saying? They see all these negative reviews, they like, oh, I ain't going here. But they oblivious to how these negative reviews surface in the first place. But they don't care about that. They looking for this service. They looking for somebody to train them. And all they know is that they looked up your name and they saw 10 negative reviews in a row. And all these negative reviews could be some people that personally got something against you and never had your service. But they don't know that though. They don't know that. So again, man, I ain't giving no attention to these folk. I ain't giving no attention. I'm giving zero attention to these folks who we call haters. Like, y'all can keep doing that, but I refuse to do that. Tony, that messes up your reputation 100%. And I plenty of books where I tapped in and folks that said that. You know, that's why they always tell you to respond to the negative comments. You know, when I was reading a book about a dude, I think he had I think it was a dental practice. I think it was either a dental practice or a chiropractic practice. I think it was chiropractor. And he was talking about how one bad day in his office, you know, a few of his people had called off. So like it was just bad circumstances. But like this was the only day that his office was like that. And he had some newer folks that came in there and they had to wait longer than they normally than you normally would have to wait and all this type of good stuff. It was just a bunch of bad things going on because his folks was calling off. So then they got on Google and they left these bad Yelp reviews and all of that. And he said, man, that killed the profit for his business. Man, the percentage was crazy. And he was like, it wasn't until he responded to the negative reviews that his business started to pick back up. So he explained what happened that day. You know, and folks was able not only to see the negative review, but they saw the explanation. You know, and he said once he did that, it kind of cleaned up the reputation, and then more people started to come into the business, and then they started to leave better reviews, this, that, and the third. You know, so again, man, you got to address that nonsense when it is put out here about you. But the best way to dodge these bullets is to not feed these folks, not give them that ammunition, not focus on them. That's the way you starve them out. I ain't gonna focus on you. All I do is correct errors and I keep it pushing. Straight up. Personal MBA is a great book. I got that somewhere behind me. But man, like I said, I correct errors and I keep it pushing. That's it. Correct error, keep it pushing. And matter of fact, I'm reading Rick Ross's memoir. Hey, right here. This joint right here, man. That's what I'm reading right now. I'm almost done with it. He talked about it. You know, he talked about, y'all already know his story. You know, when they put out at the height of his career, you know, when he started to peak and they put out that joint about him being the CEO. You know what I'm saying? And he broke that down and how he handled that incorrectly. You know, how he ended up basically lying about it. Because I think he said they put out the pictures of him being the CEO. They created this whole narrative about him being an informant, all of that. And he said it was a response that came out that wasn't his response. And the response was basically saying all these images are Photoshop. These images are not me, this, that, and the third. And he went along with that fake response, so he said. You know, you can take this how you want to take it. But he said he went along with that fake response instead of telling the truth or telling the story that he told in his book. You know, you could take that how you want to take it. Whether you think the man is lying or not, but it lets you know, man, you got to make sure you handle situations accordingly. When somebody puts something out about you, don't lie about it. That's going to make the situation worse. That's going to make matters worse. When somebody puts out something about you, tell the truth. That's what your best bet is, to always tell the truth. Fam, is this you in this picture? Yep. If you say nope, they're going to find out that it's you anyway. So always tell the truth, fam. Tell the truth at all times, fam. You got to tell the truth. When they start digging up this dirt, you already got to know, man, when you reach a certain level, they're going to dig up the dirt. So be prepared to tell the truth, fam. Because then that way you killing their ammunition. When you telling the truth and you not ashamed of what you did, again, you starving them. They want you to be embarrassed. They want you to be ashamed. They want you to be in denial. They want you to lie. The moment you be like, yeah, that's me. Yeah, I did that. So what? I'm here now. They no longer have any ammunition. Ammunition gone. But the moment you lie, the moment you be in denial, the moment you embarrassed or shit, they about to run that through the ground. That fly got peace. What's that? Tony, yeah, I gotta get Jeezy's book for sure. Yeah, that's definitely on the to read list. Yeah, I'll be reading all these memoirs, man. I learned a lot by studying a person's life. That's just what I be doing. I got a bunch of memoirs, man. I read them very quickly. Learning a lot about folks' lives, man. You can apply someone's life story to yours, man. Just the things they learned, and what got them to the position that they are in. So I like to study folks' stories, man. I like to read a lot of memoirs, biographies, autobiographies, and things like that, man. Just tapping into folks' stories, how they get from here to where they are now. I'm studying that. I'm trying to see if there are any similarities between their journey and mine. And if there are, all right, let me see how they handle this thing going forward. So I can apply some of these principles, tactics, and strategies. So I'm always tapping in and studying stories, man, studying folks. I'm always doing that, and I suggest y'all do the same. Find some people that you rock with that you may not even rock with, man, and just study their story. You'll be surprised at what you learn. You'll be surprised at what you may learn and come up with, man, by studying some of these folks. But y'all, man, with that being said, man, I just looked at the time. I gotta make some moves. But hey, Kingra, speaking of that, I just watched George Foreman's movie. If you ain't watched George Foreman's movie, man, that mug quite interesting. But yeah, I just tapped in with George Foreman, man. I done tapped into all these boxer stories, man, for sure. But that George Foreman movie was pretty decent. Pretty decent. Big George Foreman. But yeah, I just tapped in with the time, and I gotta make this other smoothie, my second smoothie the other day. And I gotta head back up to this gym, man, finish off these clients for the second half of my day, man. Y'all see the grind don't stop. So I appreciate all y'all tapping in, man. I appreciate the interaction. As always, peace. But I'm gonna let y'all get back to enjoying y'all Monday. I may tap in again with y'all on Wednesday. Take some time, finish off these books, start up another book tomorrow. That's my objective for tomorrow, man. So I'm gonna give y'all a little break. But I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all be easy out here. Y'all stay healthy out here. Peace.